Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be learning about slicing in Python. So here we can come up with a basic list that has every value is just equal to its index. And we can make it go up to 8. So what we can do here is we're going to learn about slicing. So say we have our new list and we want to take just the first 4 elements. What we could do is something like this. What this will do is it'll take from the beginning of the list all the way up and to just before the 4th index. Technically, yeah, just before index 4, it'll go and it'll get us and it'll fetch us the first 4 items inside the list. There you go. We can also get the last 4 items in a similar fashion like this. -4 here refers to the negative indexing used in Python. So we have -1, -2, -3, and then -4. And suddenly, once you use negatives, everything becomes all inclusive. So now we get all those items. Instead of like how it normally is where it skips one because it's an exclusive operation. So yeah, that's how you can easily get those. You can also easily copy the list like this. And you can easily reverse the list like this. So those are the main things you can do with slicing. Now let's go into how each of them works. So obviously the first one is basic slicing. That is when you just have x and then y. So basically one value and then another. So say we have like 2, 7. This fetches those indexes, but be careful. When you're using positive integers, it's an exclusive end and inclusive start. So that means we include index 2. But notice how the 7 is not in our final list down here in the output. The reason is because we are excluding the final index. So we only fetched 5 elements, which makes sense because 7 minus 2 is 5. But if you're expecting the 7th index to be in there, you won't find it. The next thing is all of a sudden once you have a negative number, somehow it just doesn't seem to do the same thing. Now here, since we're using a basic slicing operation, it doesn't care. It's still going to exclude index -3. But sometimes in the other operations, it treats the negative numbers differently. Now obviously the next thing is placeholder slicing. Here basically you just have a number and then a colon, or a colon and then a number. That's what I showed earlier, where you can have where it goes from the start. It goes from the start to your integer if you put it before, and if you do it like this, then it goes from the integer to the end. So you can easily get the first 4 elements, obviously, because this will go from the start of the list to index 4, technically right before. And here, what it'll do is it'll start at index 4, like here, and then it'll go up to the end, so it'll be like 4 to 9. So if you want the last 4, obviously you have to start at -4, which will start you the 4th to last item, and then it'll go to the end. So that's the placeholder slicing, and then the skip slicing is what I used for the copying mechanisms at the end and for reversing the list. So basically you just do : x. If you want to do : 1, you can just, strangely enough, the default for skip slicing seems to be 1. So I can get rid of this colon, and now it looks really weird, but it works. And it's fancy too. Or, of course, you can go, so basically this will skip by a certain amount. So say we have 2, now it's not 1, it'll skip 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And I can increase my slice step by, say, 3. Now we're going by 3. And negative numbers basically cause it to start at the end. So, of course, this will just go by 1 from the end. So that's why we get a reversed list. You can also skip by every other one from the end, as you can see here, or every third one from the end. Now, the final question is, what happens when you slice by 0? This will get it stuck at the start, and it'll throw in value error. Slice step cannot be 0, because that does not make sense. So thanks for watching my video about slicing. and see you next time.